Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Athlete. This is episode number 34. Back in the garage gym today. No park or wall background, so back to a familiar space. Over the next couple of episodes, and this episode, we're going to start cracking with being able to get that perfect squat. Okay, how to be able to work, what type of mobility exercises you need to be able to do to be able to perfect your squat. Okay, now there's a couple of things that we do need to look at. There's the ankles, there's the hips, and there's our thoracic spine, which is our upper back. They're the three main areas that we really need to look at working, that need to be really, really flexible for us to be able to perform the squat efficiently well and make it look really, really good. Okay. So today we're going to be focusing on the ankles. I'm going to give you a few exercises for the ankles for you to be able to implement. The most important part with this stuff is that you implement the same mobility exercises every single day until you have the desired result. Okay, if you just do this one day and then you do the hip ones the next day and then the thoracic the next day, you'll never progress with any of them. We need consistency, has to have consistency with the exercises that I give you. You have to be able to do them on a daily basis, otherwise you won't progress with them. Okay, if you're just going to do them once or twice or here and there, then you're not really going to get too much of a benefit. Okay, to be able to nail your squat, you need to be making sure that we're nailing the same exercises every single day till we're at a point where we can jump to the next exercises. Okay, so today I'm going to go through the ankles. I'm going to give you some exercises for the ankles. These are the ones we need to be smashing out for a while until we have the appropriate amount of range. Okay, the ankles are very, very important in terms of our squat because they allow us to get our knees coming forward in line with our toes or past our toes. Okay, if you are tight through the ankles, what this will mean is that automatically the knees will get to their end range. So let's just say it's here. They can't go anymore. So when I'm squatting down, the only way to get deeper is for me to actually put my chest forward, okay, to keep these knees back. And that's how you can see when you see a lot of people squatting, their chest comes right down, really far forward. They start to get a sore back, is because their ankles are ridiculously tight that when they're actually going down, they can't use their ankle range anymore and they have to compensate by putting their chest forward to be able to get deeper. Okay. What you'll notice is that when you have full range of ankle range, that you'll be able to actually push back. The knees will be able to actually go forward a lot more. Okay, past the toes, and also be able to hit that depth while still keeping my chest relatively straight. Okay, so that's what we want to be aiming for. So now we need to work out. So now that we've worked out that the ankles are the thing we need to work on first, they're also the thing to add. They're also the thing that will control everything upwards, okay? Often people with overhead squat issues think that they have really, really shitty shoulders, but most of the time it's not even their shoulders, okay? It's just their ankles that need work. Because their chest's coming so far forward, they have to put their hands so far back to be able to squat, and they think that they need more shoulder range when really they just need more ankle range to be able to keep their chest up. Okay, so now that you know the ankles are ridiculously important, for the squat, what we want to make sure, what we want to do now is work out how we need to loosen off those ankles. Now, the main reasons for having tight ankles is actually not the ankles themselves, it's linked up to the calf. Okay, so think of the calf as an elastic band, which is the controller for your ankle. Okay, so it allows it to be flexed into plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Okay, so in other words, backwards and forwards. Okay, now when this elastic band here, so our calf starts to shrink in size. Okay, so it tightens up, that means that ankle can only go through a small amount of range. Okay, so when we go to squat, then our ankle's not really going through full range because our calves are so tight that our ankles are starting to not be able to move. The rest of our body has to compensate, opens us up for a heap of injuries because everything else is working overtime purely just because the ankles aren't working properly. Okay, so first thing, number one, why do our calves get tight? This is very, very common for just about everyone. I honestly probably haven't come across many people that don't have tight calves, okay? And that's purely because of the way we live today, okay? We wear enclosed shoes, we sit for long periods of time, we wear safety boots at work. Our ankles are very rarely going through full range most of the day, okay? If you're at the desk, they'll stay stationary. If you're a tradesman and you have steel cap boots on, they stay stationary. You'll find that they're more stomping around rather than actually flexing. Okay, because they're so stiff and rigid. So just about every job, you'll have your ankle in a set position for a long period of time, which means when you come and train and we want to use that extra range, it's just not there because you haven't been using it all day. Okay? We need to work out how to restore that. And the way to restore that, get these carbs working. When the muscles stop working, okay, what happens is they start to tighten up because they're not being used. They also start to form adhesions in the muscle as well, which are like muscular knots. Okay? What these do is shorten that elastic band, shorten the length of our calf and make it a lot tighter. When we break down those knots and really work through them and start to open them up, then what happens is we start to get our flexibility in our calf back. We can start to work on lengthening the calf. Okay? So, that's a bit of info on the calf there. The next thing we need to do is we need to work out, well, how do we break down those adhesions? You can get dry needling or massage. Dry needling I'd only recommend if you have really, really severely tight ankles, which I've worked with a couple of people that have had that issue. Majority of people can get away with actually just using a foam roller. What you'll do is stick your ankle or foot on top of the foam roller, okay, and be able to roll backwards and forwards on the foam roller. Now, the most important thing with this is that you have your calf relaxed. If the calf isn't relaxed, and I tighten up like this and roll backwards and forwards, it's doing absolutely nothing. So I can't even feel that at the moment, okay, because the muscle's tight, the foam roller hasn't allowed to get into the muscle and be able to do its job. The other thing we need to make sure is that our other leg stays off the foam roller. We work one leg at a time. If we're working both legs at the time and we're doing these ones, which you've probably seen before, what's happening is you're actually tightening your calves up and tightening your legs up as you're moving backwards and forwards, which isn't really going to give you the desired result. Okay, so you might think that you're working through it faster, but in terms of the effect of the mobility exercise, just not going to be there. Okay, so we're going to do 10 to 15 passes, move up a little bit, 10 to 15 passes, move up a little bit, 10 to 15 passes. Okay. My recommendation, start on the foam roller. Okay. The first thing, if that's easy, you don't have any dramas, your foot's relaxed, then what you can do is actually stick the other foot on top and be able to work through. Okay, and do that. That's going to add a little bit of weight. Then after that, what you can actually use, I won't demonstrate to you today, but you can use a barbell. Okay. So set up your bar, put a couple of plates on the end, use your bar as your foam roller. Okay, and that's the really, really aggressive mode. If you haven't done this before, do not go straight to the barbell because you'll end up with bruised calves and you'll be really, really sore. Okay, and we'll work against what we're actually trying to do. Okay, so my recommendation, start off with the foam roll. Now, after we've done that, so we've broken down all those knots. Now what we want to do is we want to work on actually lengthening the muscle. Okay, is make it longer than what it is so that we can help to undo those knots, make the calf muscle longer so that we're able to flex our foot backwards and forwards even more. The best way to be able to do this is if you go to a commercial gym, jumping on a calf raise machine, sticking a little bit of weight on there and dropping your calves off the edge of the calf raise machine and actually holding there, okay? If you used a contract or a stretch relax method, okay, what you can do is actually jump on the edge of the calf raise machine for say 10-15 seconds, okay, have a rest. Jump back on 10-15 seconds, have a rest, okay, and we want to be holding at end range the whole time. Important to note, the calves will be most active when our knees are locked out. As soon as we bend the knees, the tension on our calves will actually be released, so the stretch you get won't be as effective, okay, so have those knees pushed back. If you don't have access to a calf raise machine, you're not able to do that, you don't go to a commercial gym, maybe you go to a strength and conditioning gym, a CrossFit gym, or you have some gear at home. What you can do is actually stand on the edge of a couple of weight plates. So I'll demo for you here. What we can actually do, a bit slippery, what we can do is actually stand on the edge of the weight plates and put our other foot underneath and drop that heel right down, okay, making sure this is knees locked out. The most important thing with this is we make sure that we hold on to something so we're balanced, so we're able to hold the stretch. And you should, majority of people will feel that straight down the middle, okay. So my recommendation with the stretching, you can do a contract relax method similar to what we did on the calf raise machine. Hang off the edge, hold for 15 seconds, come up, have a break. Hold for 15 seconds, come up, have a break. Okay, so 2 exercises I've given you today. Number 1, the mobility with the foam roller, which we can spend 3 minutes on each side per day on, okay, so 6 minutes total. The next thing we can work on is that stretching, okay, and we can do, say, 6 to 8 rounds of that on both feet, okay, 6 to 8 20-second rounds of stretching. And that needs to be done on a daily basis. Has to be done daily. If you do it once or twice a week, you're not going to have much progress by the time you've worked through the remaining videos, okay? So to be able to get progress, to be able to actually see the progress and see an improvement, you need to be doing them every day. I can't stress that enough. Consistency is the key to mobility. You need to be doing the same exercises on a daily basis to be able to help improve them, not sporadically or randomly or mixing a whole bunch of exercises. So there's your exercise. You can use them for the next week. So working on ankles, mobility with the foam roller, and also dropping that heel back for the next week, okay? My recommendation is do it straight before you train. If you do it straight before you train, you create that extra flexibility, extra range of motion, then you'll actually carry that into your training, be able to use that in your training, rather than doing it in the morning and then going and sitting down all day or having your ankle in the same spot and it tightens up again, okay? So give that a crack before training. Now I've been through a heap today. Any questions at all, you can post them below. If you have any questions, send them through. Otherwise, make sure you get cracking with your mobility for the next 7 days, and we'll have the next video up soon to be able to smash through the hips.